Here's my 2003 Intermeccanica 356 Roadster. I bought it from the original owner in Miami. Flew down, checked it out quickly, and had it shipped back. It has 6,000 miles on it. It is amazing what can happen to a car in 13 years just sitting, not being used in a garage in Miami. And the little use that it did get was apparently pretty hard to it. This is the car that is really, I have to say this, it's the worst buy I've ever done on a sports car, and I've bought a lot of them. I just didn't check it out very thoroughly, which is a shame because the guys who built this car put a lot of time and energy into it. I've been all over the car, and I can really appreciate the quality of the build, but when I got it, the engine reeked of gasoline, and I thought, well, you know, I'll spend 2-3 days rebuilding the carbs and tightening all the fuel lines, maybe replacing the fuel lines, tune it up, bleed all the old fluids out of it, drain the gas tank, all the stuff you do to a car that's been sitting and neglected, go over all the surface rust, blah, blah, blah. It's been 6 months, and now I finally have it to the point where I can get it on the road, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm about halfway through the project. Just a quick overview of what it was and what it is. Every wheel, I didn't even know they were chrome wheels. They had so much surface rust on them. I sanded, polished them all. Every baby moon hubcap was dented badly, so I replaced all the hubcaps with the nipple hubcaps. This is a little fun aesthetic stuff. The interior, moldy. I had mold all over the leather. I replaced the horn button, the Nardi horn button, with a Porsche horn button, and I pulled out the Clarion radio and put in a Blaupunk. Well, no, actually it's a retro radio with the push buttons and that, but I bought a Blaupunk frame and a real Blaupunk face for it, so it has the authentic look. All knobs loose, all wiring connections not good, corroded. So, I mean, but still, this is all fairly lightweight stuff. Since I've had it, I put the luggage rack on the back. That's actually a Harley-Davidson luggage rack. I really like the shape of it. It replicates the original one nicely, but I thought it matched the shape of the lid nicely. But the big problem, to my surprise, was the engine. I rebuilt the carburetors, and that didn't do it. I had a hard time with it until I realized that the electronic ignition was not actually electronic ignition. It left the factory in Canada with electronic ignition, and for some reason they had pulled that out and put points in, and they were badly adjusted, all valves badly adjusted. Rebuilt the carburetors with upgraded CB Performance carburetor kit. That didn't do it. The engine compartment, the lining in it was loose and hanging over the carburetor, starving them of air, so that all came out. And in the end, I dropped the engine out, redid the engine compartment, put in new cylinders and pistons, new push rod tubes, of course, and new push rods, and just went through the whole thing. And now it's running pretty well. I haven't put the engine tin back in yet, so that's still out because it's winter time, and I don't think it really needs it quite yet. So I'm leaving that out because I'm considering putting a Subaru engine in it. So at this point, I'm just trying to take a pause and step back and starting to try to enjoy the car because it's been nothing but work for months and months. I pulled the air conditioning compressor out of it. The AC blew a leak when I was test driving it, so I just got it out of the way. It was really crowded in here. Also has a power steering pump that I've taken out. The power steering is the rack is from a Passat, and it's still up front. I just haven't I'm looking for an electronic power steering pump, and right now it's just passive. I mean, I still have the reservoir that's lubricating the rack, but it's anyway, I'm still working on that. So potentially going to end up with a Subaru engine in it, potentially going to end up with a power electric power steering rack. The front ball joints are all screwed up, so I'm going to have to I don't want to do those myself. That thing will knock your teeth out, so I'm having someone else do the front ball joints. Tie rod ends all messed up. All the rubber covering all the stuff up front's torn up. I think this guy let a 16-year-old son take it out and just dry the snot out of it. All CV joints in the back leaking grease. I replaced the outer two CV joints. I I mean, the list is extensive. I don't want to bore you with all the little stuff, but gradually it's coming together. So here's just a little video journal of it. My Intermeccanica halfway through the project. And it's a lot of fun. It's a cool car. It's a 4-limb driving car, meaning you need both hands and both feet to drive it. There's no drinking a cappuccino. It really, I think us old guys, we like these things because it's a real physical experience to drive it. It reminds us of our youth, and it's a really good reminder of how far cars have come. But what a cool thing. And even after all this, I'm still really enjoying it. And there it is, halfway to home.